The dungeon of the princely crown. In the middle of the 13th century, when Kievan Rus recognized the invasion of the Mongol hordes of Khan Bati, one of the most valuable relics of that time was lost: the crown of the Kievan princes. According to the legend, this crown was passed down from generation to generation, starting with Vladimir the Great. It was a symbol of the unity and power of Russia, and it was believed that the one who wears it may be blessed by the heavens themselves. They were lost in those hard times, when Kiev lay in ruins, and the great glory of the Grand Duke seemed like a mere memory of the past. The crown, which the princes of Russia revered as sacred, is not less symbolic, but also has a magical significance. It seems that it was made of pure gold, embellished with rubies and sapphires, and in its center there was a great emerald, which, according to legend, never bestowed wisdom and strength on its ruler. It is important that Prince Vladimir the Great himself rejected the Byzantine emperors as a sign of the recognition of his rule over the similar Slavs. Von survived dozens of wars, replaced the Volodars, and lost the indispensable attribute of the Kiev princes. However, in 1240, the birth of Kiev has adverbs. The Mongolian pile, which was collapsing from the sunset, had already collapsed in Pereyaslav and Chernigov. The place was being prepared for defense, although the forces of its commanders were too weak. The remaining ruler of the crown, Prince Mikhailo Vsevolodovich, understood that Kiev could not stand up to the persistent Mongol attack. Aware of the threat, he entrusted his faithful warrior Boris with stealing the crown and seizing it there, where no one on the other side could find it. Boris, together with a group of loyal warriors, captured Kiev under the cover of night. The Stinks went straight to the Chernihiv forests, hoping to find a safe place for the relic. However, the Mongols, who had penetrated the place, quickly found out about the leak and rushed in pursuit. The re-examination lasted for several days. One by one, the princes of Okharon disappeared, streaming away from the enemies, giving Boris the opportunity to stick his head out. If he himself lost his wounds and stains, he could go to the ancient oven not far from Chernigov. There, in the darkest nook, he had fashioned a crown under a large stone slab, and had carved signs on the wall that seemed to indicate a place of worship. Prot, exhausted and perhaps breathless, Boris still did not inform anyone about the place of the gathering. Legend has it that before his death he whispered the words, "Vona is waiting for the good one." Centuries have passed since that hour. Kiev revived, the princes changed, but the crowns were lost in history. Chensi secretly conveyed stories about Boris and his departure, but rather the location of the relic became a mystery. Dealers of pranksters destroyed treasures in the Chernigov forests, searching for the stove, as was said in the legend, but none of them returned with the trophy. In the 18th century, when Kyiv reached the warehouse of the Russian Empire, one of the local historians, Ivan Sreznevsky, collected all possible clues about the lost crown and ruined the expedition. Having dug into the old black notes, he guessed about the prince's warrior Boris and his remaining path. Together with several lieutenants, we searched dozens of ovens in the Chernihiv region, but did not manage to find the crown. However, mysterious symbols were revealed on the stones near the deep underground hall. The stench predicted the ancient Kiev runes, and as a result of their changes they became unsolved. For years, there were rumors in the 19th century when archaeologists, working on the investigations of the ancient settlements of Kievan Rus, found another riddle about a lost relic. Actions have long argued that the crown could have been taken beyond Russia during the hour of the Mongol redemption, while others insisted that it would still be deprived of its treasure, hoping for those who could read the signs of Boris. In the 20th century, enthusiastic archaeologists continued to explore possible places of the myth. In the 1970s, the Radiansky investigators carried out a series of excavations near the Chernigov forests, based on ancient chronicles, but the crown was never found. During the Christian hours, if anyone tried to find out, the legendary treasures of Kievan Rus were harshly controlled by the authorities, and a lot of discoveries appeared in the archives of the KDB. Today's jokes are disturbing. In 2019, a group of historians and archaeologists again investigated the locality near Chernigov, using modern technologies, ground-penetrating radar, and 3D scanning. The stench was found in underground passages, which could have been part of ancient ovens, but the investigation work remains incomplete. The legend about the Prince Crown of Kievan Russia continues,